Good Friday morning. It is time to hide this elf guy, and he is hiding in my cookbooks this morning. Believe it or not, it took a long time before they found him. This clock has died. It says it's almost 10 till 8. My watch says something different, and then this clock over here says something yet different again, like an hour difference, a half an hour difference. I don't know what time it is. But I'm having breakfast: tea, an orange, 3/4 cup of egg whites, 1 egg, a piece of sourdough bread with a little bit of the yogurt margarine on it. And I've cooked the egg with coleslaw and onion, and I'm having it with a little bit of kimchi on top for my digestion and those wonderful probiotics. All right, so I'm using this very old recipe. I don't remember where I got it from. It's Persimmon-Cranberry Pudding, and I think it's a Williams-Sonoma recipe. I don't remember though. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using 3 very large ripe Hachiya Persimmons, and I want to make sure that they're pretty puddingy and soft inside. I'm using these because these are really good for baking. The little fuyus that you find at the supermarket are usually good. They're crispy and sweet for salads and things like this, but these ones are what you really would like for baking. I'm also going to be using 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and in the flour I have mixed the sea salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then I will put the recipe in the description bar. I'm going to be using 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I'm going to be using 1.5 cups of firmly packed light brown sugar. I'm using 3 large eggs, 1/4 cup of dark rum or Cointreau, and I use this in my baking. This works really good in this pudding. And then let's see, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I've got 2 lemons here just to make sure I get 2 tablespoons. I'm going to use the grated zest of 1 lemon and the grated zest of 1 orange. And then I'm going to be using 1 teaspoon of peeled and minced ginger. I've got fresh ginger here. 1.5 cups of fresh or frozen cranberries, and I always use the fresh ones. And then 1 cup of black walnuts or pecans chopped, and that's what I have here. Now, when you first have the dry ingredients and put them aside, don't just rush in and put all the dry ingredients together, because what you have to do is we have to blend these up, the persimmons, and then we have to add the baking soda to the persimmons. Okay, so those don't get mixed up with the other things. The sea salt actually can get mixed up with the cinnamon and the nutmeg, so that can go in there. But the baking soda has to be mixed with the persimmons. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I am going to cut these persimmons in half, and then I'm just going to take my spoon and scoop out all of the nice soft flesh here. So I don't want the skins in here. I just want the flesh of the fruit in here. So I'm just going to scoop it all out, and I'm just going to show you how I'm doing this one, but probably not all of them because it'll take too long. You get the idea. You know what I'm doing. And what I'm going to do is probably just let the chickens have the skin and they can pick at it. So here's all of the persimmons in the blender, and I'm going to blend it up until this is smooth in here. And if it stops, try to turn it off and work with it a little bit, but it'll get smooth like this. And then I can add the baking soda to that, stir it in really good, and then we're going to set that aside. And what's going to happen is you're going to see that it's going to thicken up. I know it's pretty thick, but it's going to thicken up just a little bit more. So we're going to set that aside while we work over here. And so I'm going to cream the butter and the brown sugar together. Okay guys, what did I do wrong? Okay, if you're noticing, I said 4 tablespoons of butter, but what happened was my son came in and started telling me all about how there was a brick missing from the wall out back, and he thinks somebody stole it. And so I don't know, it really got me really kind of in another zone, and so I wasn't paying attention. And so I added the whole stick of butter into this. And so as you'll see at the end, that is why my pudding comes out so luscious and soft, because I have double the amount of butter in it. So you don't want to do that. If you don't do that, it's going to come out much more bready. But this is honestly, I'm just going to go with it because it's going to be absolutely the Christmas pudding to remember with that much extra butter. All right, I mean, Julia Child and Paula Deen would both love this recipe now with all this wonderful butter. So I'm going to cream that up, and then I'm going to add in my eggs. I've got my 3 eggs here, and then I'm going to add in either the rum or the Cointreau. I'm using the Cointreau, so whichever one you're using, and then my freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I've got 2 tablespoons that are going in there, and I'm just going to mix it up really well. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the puree, the persimmon puree that's mixed with the baking soda, and I'm going to, let me move this thing out of the way so I can add this in properly. And I'm just going to mix it all in here, and that's going to be a nice little, look at that. Oh my goodness, it did get thick. Do you see that? It just kind of like gets a little chunky. All right, so I'm going to mix that in here together. All right, now at this point, what I want to do is just add in the flour mixture a little bit at a time, and you just be careful to fold it all in. And so I'm going to take my time about this until all of the flour is added. All right, now I don't know why I get so giddy when it's time to add the little accoutrements, but now in go the cranberries and the walnuts and the zest of the lemon and the orange, and also the chopped ginger. And I really chop that ginger as fine as possible because I kind of want that to be spread out evenly throughout. This is so flavorful, guys. Okay, so I have a non-stick bundt pan. It's a cake pan, and I have, even though it's non-stick, I'm gonna line it with butter, and I just kind of like took a paper towel and got it everywhere, especially in the grooves. That's gonna be really important because you really want this to release really well. So if you don't have like a non-stick bundt that you know is going to not stick, then buy one just for this, because I've tried this with one that was wearing out and I was very sorry for that. Okay, I'm also going to be using a stock pot to steam this. So what I'm going to do, I've got some water in here. It's probably about, oh, this is a huge 20-quart stock pot. But I only have about maybe 3 inches of water in there. And so I'm going to take this little colander, or you could use like a glass bowl, and I'm just going to stick it on the bottom here. And I'll show you what that looks like. After I get the pudding in here and seal it, this is going to sit right up on top of that colander, and it's going to steam for 2.5 hours. All right, it's time to get this wonderful pudding mix into the pan. I'm just going to carefully scoop it all around, and then when I have it in there, it's all in there, I'm just going to kind of gently flatten the top so it looks real pretty when it comes out from cooking. And we are going to be simmering this for 2.5 hours. So first of all, I'm going to take 2 layers of foil, and I'm going to crisscross them over this and just kind of like mold it around the pan a little bit. And then what I'm going to do once I have this around is take some of the twine. I got this at World Market Cost Plus. It really is really helpful to invest in a really nice roll of twine for whenever you need it. And this has a little cutter on top, so I don't have to go running around looking for scissors. But this is really wonderful twine for the kitchen. And I'm just going to tie kind of a loose knot right here so that I can get it out fairly easy once it's time to open it up. So once that's done, I will trim this and just kind of like finish molding the foil around the pan. So as you can see, the water doesn't come up to the level of the, it only comes up maybe a third of the way of the colander. And so while it's steaming on low for 2.5 hours, I'm going to check the water to make sure it doesn't run out, because you don't want it to burn. You want it to continue to steam. Now it's not hugely hot, it's just starting to get a little warm, because I don't want to burn myself when I lower this in. But right away it's going to get pretty warm, and I'm going to just cover this up and put it on simmer. Now the kids and I and Honey, after this was done cooking, we went to go see a show. We went to go see, what was it? Oh my goodness. Migration. And that was really cute. It was Disney's. It was really sweet. I think it was Disney. Maybe not. It was DreamWorks. No, it was Illumination. Okay, so here it is, and I'm going to, it's cooled down pretty much by the time I got back, and I'm just checking to make sure it's not gooey, like not gooey, uncooked gooey. But it is going to be more pudding-like. Look at that. It looks like it came out perfect. Even with my extra butter, this came out really nice. And I actually I just went about 2 hours and 10 minutes, not 2 hours and 30 minutes. So, because I had to leave for the show. But look at this. It came right out. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It's going to slice great like pudding. It's going to be super duper moist, and it is so fragrant. I cannot even tell you, it smells like Christmas. So I'm going to put cranberries in there, and I'm going to gussy it up, make it look beautiful for Christmas. And we are going to enjoy this. All right, you guys, I have to get ready to go. It's been a long day. We have a beautiful Christmas party to attend to tonight. Some of our longtime friends, they put on such a wonderful shindig, and it's just a really wonderful time with close friends celebrating what is very dear to us. So I will bring you along for a little bit of it, and then you can see what's going on there. And then after that, I will see you tomorrow.
In the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths, lying in a manger. Suddenly a great company of the heavenly hosts appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about."